I freaking love dinosaurs. That makes me really biased for this movie, and I still don't think it was like perfect, and there's some really silly things that happen. But all the homages, dinosaurs eating people, never gets freaking old. Jurassic World Rebirth by Gareth Edwards, starring Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey, is a wonderful addition to the Jurassic Park series and is a rebirth only in the sense that it has that title. It doesn't feel like a reboot. It feels like a continuation. It doesn't feel like a remake, even though there's a ton of Steven Spielberg influences from the very first one, and it's fun to see, but Rebirth was the wrong title for this movie. The MacGuffin part where they're following and trying to get these different blood samples works for me, and it made the wins genuinely feel earned and worth the effort, and they weren't killing anything. This really nice simplicity to it, family-friendly quality that just made the movie fun. And all the characters are believable. Even Scarlett Johansson as a MARSOC operator is a little bit of a stretch, but also like we've seen her as Black Widow a bunch, and that was close enough, so it didn't feel out of place. I think it was pretty ingenious to start in New York with a dying, might be a brachiosaur that's laying in the road blocking traffic. I think that's what I was wanting from some of these newer franchise options, but the fact that all the animals die when they're outside the equator, fine, whatever. It just means they can rebirth the franchise to only be on islands and go back to their practical effects like they were trying to, which I think worked. I think there was some really neat shots in this one, especially Jonathan Bailey going up and touching the legs of the Titanosaur was quite immersive, and the Titanosaur scene is just probably the best one in the movie just because of its, maybe seconded by the T-Rex getting in the water. The little surprises are what make this movie great. And the Titanosaurs being in love, the T-Rex kind of being interested in them until it's not, because it just gets tired of it because it's got a full belly and was asleep, to the surprises of the guy that's climbing along the wall, the French guy. He gets eaten off screen, and then you see him appear in the Quetzalcoatl's mouth. That little surprise is wonderful. The Spinosaurus rolling over on the beach. All of these little moments that are just well done surprises in a creative way, in a scary way, right? Raptors appearing behind you while you're taking a leak in the forest is pretty terrifying, and that's what really pulled me through the film. The overarching story is kind of but again, like I said, the MacGuffin helps that, and the time they take in the first act to kind of like get you to like these characters, even though it feels exposition heavy, works for me. I enjoyed learning about them. I felt like I believed the acting, and this trio could really be good for the franchise. I think that there is a treasure trove of acting capability, and they should double down on what their possible storylines could be based on the actors' capabilities. That's what they should do going forward. And then freaking bring in more dinosaurs. Why are we not using hundreds, if not thousands, of different dinosaur species? Why do we keep going back to the same ones? Like, oh, okay, well, the park was making only specific ones. Fair enough. There was blue and orange compies on the island this time, which, okay, it's fair, but there's so many more dinosaur options to make things interesting and look visually appealing without breaking your repetitive people go to island and die because dinosaurs scary. So I think what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to do a Lost World remake next, and I don't know how it's going to play out, but it's going to be very similar, because that's basically what this was the first one, and then the Lost World is like kind of mixed in there because of InGen and the fact that it's another lab and it's another island. But there's just more to do now because all the animals are now on the equator. So it's like you can go to different islands. Maybe they can get to the African coast somewhere, or maybe they can go into Indonesia. I don't know. There's lots of places to go now that it's Jurassic World. So with a budget of $265 million, I would assume they're going to make it back. Dinosaurs make a lot of money, and I think it deserves it. I don't think this movie is above and beyond all the way through, but it's definitely in the pocket, and there are elements of it that go above and beyond. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's my favorite of the Jurassic World franchise side of things. It does not beat the originals for me. Even Jurassic Park 3, which is kind of ridiculous, I grew up with it, and I loved it. This movie is better than that movie, but my favorite still being the first and second. The trailers did not do this movie justice, but it was a lot of fun, and the T-Rex swimming is amazing, and Spinosaurus and Mosasaurus teaming up is amazing, and I don't even care that the mutants were mutiny, because like the mutant stuff was scary and interesting, and there was a lot of little funny gags and pulls back to the original that didn't feel like just fan service. It felt like it interacted naturally with the story they had played out. So fun time at the movies, great addition to the franchise. I hope they can keep being creative and letting directors do what they do, because Gareth Edwards knows how to do size for sure, and he should get to do another one. That's what I would say. So anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think they spent way too much money on this? Do you think that there is a trio here that could rival the original three? Yeah, let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.